Hello, and welcome to the Get Lean and Eat Clean podcast. My name is Brian Grin. I'm a certified health coach, trainer, and author. And this podcast is for middle-aged men and women looking to optimize their health and get their bodies back to what it once was 10 to 15 years ago. I will give you simple, actionable items to get long-term sustainable results. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show. All right, welcome to the Get Lean, Eat Clean podcast. My name is Brian Grin. Hope you had a great weekend. Happy Tuesday. If you're listening to this on Tuesday, and hopefully you listen to my interview with Trent McIntyre, with the inventor of Brain Speedball. Just got mine in, so I'm going to give it a whirl and put some air in it, and I'll let you know and report back how it goes. So that's episode 187, Fire Up Your Brain. So I think it's a topic that should be discussed more. We always talk about lifting weights and getting strong, but we need to make sure that we're using our brains and activating our brains as we get older as well. So definitely check that interview out. Really enjoyed meeting Trent. And today I wanted to touch on maybe a topic that, well, I should say we talk about nutrient-dense foods a lot. And I've done some episodes where we've talked about, the most nutrient-dense foods. And I actually hasn't been published yet, but I interviewed again Marty Kendall with Optimizing Nutrition, and he talks all about nutrient density and the importance of it, because really that's going to help control satiety. And if you're eating empty calories all day, your body's just going to be craving more, craving more, craving more. So what I want to talk about today was one of the most nutrient dense foods out there. It's been known as like the multivitamin of food, and that is beef liver. I feel like liver was something that was eaten back in the day. I remember my grandparents would eat it, and now I think a lot of people just think it's disgusting and don't eat it. But beef liver is something that I think you could implement into your life, and there's a few different ways you can get these capsules. I get them through Ancestral Supplements, where it's freeze-dried liver, and then you don't taste anything. Or there's some of these like beef crisps, these beef liver crisps, where there's a few companies that make them, and I can put some links. But anyways, I'll put some links in some places where you can get liver. My wife's been making liver and onions maybe once every few weeks, and I really actually enjoy it. So if you're looking to add in the most nutrient dense foods on the planet, I would start throwing some beef liver in there, because 100 grams of liver contains more than 100% of the recommended daily value for various micronutrients. So, and it's also a great source of protein. So I'm going to sort of walk through some of the main nutrients that you can get. There's 8 essential ones that can really go a long way, and these are things that you might not get from other foods. And the first one is vitamin A. So vitamin A is actually one of the more important nutrients that we have. It functions as far as preserving eyesight, supporting a healthy immune system, maybe even reducing acne, promoting healthy reproductive function. So it's pretty important. Let's just say this. And vitamin A is abundant in beef liver. The next one is vitamin B. You always hear about the B vitamins, right? Especially for people who don't eat meat, they could be deficient. And a lot of people are deficient. Well, vitamin B plays a huge role in DNA production, repair, red blood cell development, amino acid metabolism, cell growth, helps convert food to energy, also acts as an antioxidant. So one serving of beef liver contains 220% of the recommended dietary intake of B2 and folate, B9, 60% of the RDI for that, and then B12, a huge amount of B12. And B9 and B12 are critical for brain function. So definitely vitamin A, vitamin B. Next is vitamin D. Now, we always hear vitamin D and how you want to get sunlight, but a lot of times we don't always get sunlight. We're inside, it's winter, and vitamin D deficiency is extremely common. and this could lead to being deficient, could lead to fatigue, depression, impaired wound healing, and even hair loss. So um, vitamin D is only about 5% of the RDI is in beef liver, but every little bit counts, and you definitely can get some vitamin D from beef liver. Your best bet is to get out and get some sunlight. And if you are deficient, you might even have to supplement in vitamin D. But so we got vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin D. We got choline. Choline is an extremely important role in like several processes involving like brain development, liver function, DNA synthesis, healthy nervous system. So beef liver is one of the richest sources of choline. So choline's huge. Copper is a big one that can help activate a number of key enzymes to regulate energy, brain function, iron metabolism. So copper, iron as well. Um, Beef liver is one of the best sources of iron in the world. 100 grams of beef liver has about 60% of the recommended daily allowance for iron. Also, vitamin K2. I mean, I could probably go on and on, but those are the big ones. And also, beef liver can also help as almost like a workout supplement, because if you're doing resistance training, right, after you do resistance training, you want to do what's called mTOR stimulation and also get amino acids. And that's what beef liver can help you with. It can help stimulate mTOR, which helps with muscle protein synthesis, and help you get some amino acids. So amino acids are essential building blocks for muscles, and they stimulate mTOR, which is like the cellular master control for protein synthesis and growth. So that is so key. So if you're lifting, beef liver could be a good supplement to add in as well. Also, too, I interviewed Dr. Don Layman. If you talk to most protein experts, they're going to talk about these essential amino acids. And one of them that's most important is called leucine. Now, where do we get leucine? We can get it from whey protein and some from meats. But beef liver, 100 grams of beef liver has 2.7 grams of leucine. And you'd love to aim for about 3 grams of leucine per meal. So I'm not saying you have to have liver at every meal, but it is a healthy source of highly digestible protein, which is giving you one of the most important amino acids for muscle growth, and that's leucine. So key, obviously. If you're thinking to yourself, there's no way I'm going to eat liver, that's fine. You can find other ways. I'll put some links for ancestral supplements. There's a lot of these freeze dried healthy ways to get it in. Obviously, eating it is probably the best, but this is, you can't really go wrong with all the nutrient density that liver can bring. I wouldn't overdo it. I don't think you have to necessarily even have it every day. But if it could just sort of add in the rotation of eating, I think it can go a long way with obviously everything I've listed. And many tribes, if you look back, like many tribes have been eating beef liver for years and years and years. And we all know that a lot of these tribes maintained health through, throughout in life. And so I'm not going to name all the tribes, but how to cook it. You can pan fry it. You can mix it with ground beef. They say you also should soak it in milk before cooking. So there's a lot of different ways to cook it. I would give it a go. My wife doesn't mind making it. I think it's pretty easy. Are there any risks to overdoing it? You could, like I mentioned, overdo it and you don't want to get too much of what's called vitamin A, which I mentioned already. So, definitely want to keep an eye on that. But I think you have to have a lot of liver to really overdo it. So, and I'm sure that won't be an issue. But that's the one thing is you just want to avoid vitamin A toxicity, but that's very highly unlikely. So I would just get a good quality grass-fed, grass-finished liver, and I think you'll be good to go. There's a beef liver chip that Carnivore Aurelius makes. I can put the link in for that. And I've been having that from time to time as well. So I don't mind the taste of that at all. So there you go. So the bottom line is I would definitely find a way to implement liver into your life. It's it contains 8 essential nutrients, the ones I mentioned, and a lot more. We could probably spend another hour talking about it, but it could help with mental clarity. It could help with your workout performance. Your skin could get clearer. So why not have one of the world's best, most nutrient dense foods on the planet, and that's beef liver. So hope this maybe influences you to look into it. Let me know if you have any questions. Email me, brian@briangrin.com. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I will talk to you on Friday. Thanks for listening to the Get Lean, Eat Clean podcast. I understand there are millions of other podcasts out there, and you've chosen to listen to mine, and I appreciate that. Check out the show notes at briangrin.com for everything that was mentioned in this episode. Feel free to subscribe to the podcast and share it with a friend or family member that's looking to get their body back to what it once was. Thanks again, and have a great day.